Welcome to the HFY Tales channel. Remember to like and subscribe if you like the story. Enjoy and take care.
Ethan stood at the mouth of the ancient mine, a gaping chasm that seemed to swallow the last rays of sunlight. The structure loomed high above him, a relic of a bygone era, with its stone walls covered in an eerie, glimmering moss. Tales of the mine had echoed in his family for generations, a place where humans had once extracted strange minerals infused with untold power. Yet, as he peered into the darkness, a shiver ran down his spine, both from intrigue and trepidation. With a last breath of the fresh air, he adjusted the straps of his backpack, fully loaded with tools, a flashlight, and a small digital recorder to document his findings. The inheritance had come unexpectedly. A distant relative had thrust this uncharted territory into his life. What had seemed like an adventure was now tinged with a sense of responsibility. Ethan had spent countless nights studying the mine's history, its connections to far-off civilizations, and the mythos surrounding its dark corners and shadowy past. As he descended into the depths, the musty odor of earth engulfed him. The beam of his flashlight pierced through the darkness, illuminating the walls engraved with an alien script. He pressed on, heart racing with each step, craving the thrill of discovery. Ethan's enthusiasm was palpable, a beacon of hope against the mine's foreboding atmosphere. Suddenly, the path split, one branch veering sharply into a narrow cavern. Against his better judgment, he defied the instinct to choose the larger path, driven instead by an impulse he could not name. The air grew colder as he squeezed through the entrance, feeling the walls close in around him. The flickering light danced on the cavern walls, revealing shimmering minerals that reflected colors beyond his comprehension. And then he saw it, a flicker beyond the shimmering stones that caught his eye. Eagerly, he trudged closer, heart thumping louder in his chest. What he had stumbled upon was not just an impressive collection of minerals. There, chained to the wall, was a figure that took his breath away. Dania, an alien beauty drenched in an otherworldly glow, sat before him, her vibrant skin glowing against the dark cavern like a beacon of hope. Long, flowing hair, cascading like tendrils of starlight, framed her delicate face, and her eyes blinked with a mix of fear and surprise. "Please help me," she whispered, her voice melodic, yet filled with agony. But it was the name David that echoed in the mine's silence. David, someone Ethan had long admired, a figure of bravery and adventure, who had fought for exploration and the unknown. Suddenly, Ethan felt a surge of determination. What would David do in this moment? Would he ignore the plea or step forward into a destiny awaiting him? Ethan's heart raced, not with fear, but with an instinctual need to protect. He approached cautiously, feeling an overwhelming surge of empathy wash over him. The chains that bound her glittered with strange runes, and in that moment, the enormity of his discovery crashed down upon him. Ethan had not only inherited a mine, but perhaps an entire world trapped within it, a world that would challenge everything he thought he knew about humanity, life, and love itself. Ethan stood before Dania, the alien beauty shackled to the cave wall. Her glowing skin illuminated the darkness around them, and the intricacies of her features captivated him. A soft, angular face, high cheekbones, and eyes that shimmered like galaxies, filled with unspoken stories. Yet behind that captivating exterior lay a deep sense of pain and fear. "Who did this to you?" he asked, his voice barely above a whisper. Dania's gaze flickered down to her chains, each adorned with ancient symbols that pulsed faintly in response to her distress. "I am a prisoner of the Corthans," she replied, her voice resonating with a strange melody. "They captured me when they invaded my planet, seeking to exploit my people and the secrets of our kind." Ethan felt a deep sense of sympathy swell within him. The thought of her being a prisoner ignited a fire in his chest. "I can help you. I will free you." Her eyes widened slightly, a mix of hope and disbelief crossing her features. "Many have tried. The chains are bound by ancient magic. Only those who understand its power can break it." "Then teach me," Ethan said, determination carving lines on his face. He stepped closer, his fingers brushing against the glowing symbols, trying to decipher their meaning. He could feel the vibrations of energy echoing through him, and an inexplicable familiarity tugged at his mind. As he concentrated, Dania's gaze shifted from doubt to curiosity. "You are different," she observed. "There is a warmth in you, unlike the cold hearts of my captors." The connection sparked between them, a thread of empathy binding their fates, woven through their shared desire for freedom. Ethan knew he couldn't leave her, not now that he had found her. The mind pulsed with possibilities, and he wanted to unlock its secrets not just for himself, but for her. "I need to understand more about your people, Dania. What do these symbols mean?" He pointed to the chains, feeling an electric tingle course through him. Dania took a deep breath, shifting slightly in her restraints, which clinked softly against her skin. "They are a binding spell, created to suppress my abilities and keep me from escaping. My kind was once majestic, blessed with powers to manipulate the energies of our world. But now, I am a forgotten relic of a once great civilization." Ethan's heart ached for her. "What can I do? Help me help you." For the first time, a smile broke through her troubled expression, soft and hesitant. "To break the chains, we must first pass a trial of worthiness. It requires a mutual bond, the acceptance of two souls joining in the dance of energies." Ethan's pulse quickened. "What do you mean by that?" "It is a ritual known to my kind, a melding of our essences. Only then can the magic reveal its true nature and allow us to overcome the past." Her words hung thick in the air, filled with an exhilarating promise. Ethan felt a wave of warmth wash over him at the prospect of forging such a bond. He could hardly process the implications, but something deep within him affirmed he wanted this connection. "I'm ready." Dania hesitated, the gravity of the moment resting heavily on her shoulders. "Do you understand what this means? It goes far beyond physical connection. It will bind our fates together, perhaps forever." Ethan nodded fiercely. "I don't care. We have to try." Dania studied him in silence, searching his eyes for any hint of hesitation. As she did, the glow of the chains pulsed rhythmically, as if resonating with their conversation. "Very well, but first, we must ensure our spirits are aligned." Dania began to chant softly in her native tongue. The air around them thickened, vibrating with an energy that seeped into Ethan's very being. Slowly, he felt the mind's aura shift, shadows dancing along the walls, and the soft hum of the minerals growing louder, an echo of time forgotten. "Close your eyes and focus on your heart, Ethan," Dania instructed. "Feel the connection we share as living beings. Breathe my essence, and hold onto it tightly." Ethan obeyed, closing his eyes as he inhaled deeply, feeling an unusual warmth envelop him. He could hear the soft whisper of Dania's words, a soothing melody that wrapped around his consciousness. Around them, the air pulsed with vibrant colors, and he felt as though he was suspended between two worlds, his own and hers. With every breath, he could feel their energies intertwining, a beautiful dance of light and warmth. Images flashed in his mind, glimpses of Dania's home, a world painted in ethereal hues and rich landscapes, her people living in harmony with nature, their laughter echoing in the wind. "Now, with our spirits united, we can break the chains," Dania urged, her voice steadier. Ethan opened his eyes, now filled with determination. Together, their energies united. He reached out and touched the chains, feeling the warmth radiating through the cool metal. At that moment, the symbols began to shift and churn, responding to their combined will. Dania's voice intensified, leading him through the final stages of the ritual, the air crackling around them as light enveloped them both. "Together, we forge a new path." With a sudden surge of energy, the chains unleashed an explosive burst of light, and Ethan found himself knocked back, stumbling as the cavern illuminated in a radiant glow. He shielded his eyes, feeling his heart race with a mix of fear and excitement. As the light diminished, he dared to look up. There, Dania stood free. Chains disintegrated into a cascade of shimmering dust, her form radiant and ethereal. Ethan marveled at her newfound freedom. "You did it. We did it," he exclaimed, hope blooming within him. Dania's eyes sparkled with gratitude and strength. "Our bond has awakened something within this mine. Together, we can uncover its secrets and protect my people from the threats that loom." With newfound purpose, Ethan extended his hand, and Dania took it gently. Let's discover what lies ahead together. With the chains of captivity shattered, a new chapter began not only for Dania, but also for Ethan. The mine, once a foreboding prison, transformed into a realm of possibilities, the pulse of its ancient aura now resonating with their united energy. They stood together at the gateway to discovery, each step echoing with the promise of adventure. Where do we start? Ethan asked, adrenaline coursing through him as they walked farther into the depths of the mine. They ventured along tunnels adorned with alien carvings. The walls seemed to hum with energy, echoing the symphony of their newfound connection. Dania smiled, her vibrant skin shimmering against the backdrop of the mine. The heart of this place holds the key to understanding my people's legacy. We must find the core chamber, an ancient sanctuary where our powers converge and knowledge is kept. As they moved through the twisting pathways, Dania shared snippets of her world. My people once thrived in harmony with nature, she explained. We had the ability to manipulate energy, to nurture and heal. We were caretakers of our planet. Ethan listened intently, captivated by her stories. What happened? How did the Korthans take your world from you? A flicker of pain crossed Dania's face. The Korthans saw our abilities not as a blessing, but as a tool for their conquest. They used deceit and violence to turn us against one another, dismantling our unity. Her gaze turned thoughtful. In their greed, they did not realize the power they were tampering with, a force that could easily consume them. Ethan felt his stomach twist with anger and empathy for the loss of what Dania had described as an idyllic existence. We'll make sure that doesn't happen again. You're free now, and we'll protect your heritage together. As they navigated deeper into the mine, they sensed the unyielding bond forming between them. Stolen glances turned into lingering touches, each electric brush igniting their connection further. Ethan found solace in her presence. Her laughter echoed throughout the caverns, weaving through the silence like a warm breeze amidst the chill. Dania, in turn, experienced a sense of profound companionship she had never imagined she could have. The weight of her past began to lift, and in Ethan's unwavering support, she found strength. They finally arrived at a broad cavern, its entrance marked by a towering archway etched with pulsating glyphs. Inside, the chamber opened up like a hidden sanctuary, filled with luminescent minerals that illuminated the room in a soft, ethereal glow. "Welcome to the core chamber," Dania said, her voice barely above a whisper, all washing over her as she stepped inside. Ethan looked around, his heart racing. This place is incredible. The walls shimmered with a multitude of colors, and in the center, a vast pool of liquid energy swirled within an intricately carved stone basin. It radiated warmth, pulsating in sync with their heartbeats. Dania approached the energy pool, kneeling beside it. "This is the lifeblood of my people, a source of our power and wisdom. It is here that we can awaken the ancient knowledge needed to protect my world." She glanced at Ethan, her expression earnest. "But we must both be ready. The bonding ceremony we started earlier is only the beginning. We must open ourselves fully to its gifts." Ethan felt a flicker of apprehension, but also an undeniable curiosity. "What do we need to do?" "Together, we must immerse ourselves in the energy," she instructed. "It will test our spirits and reveal the truth of our intentions. Pure hearts can awaken its full potential." Ethan nodded, determination in his eyes. He stepped closer, holding Dania's hand tightly. "We're in this together." Dania smiled softly, a warmth flooding her being. She led them both to the pool's edge as they knelt side by side, hearts racing in tandem. The shimmering surface called to them, drawing them closer, whispering promises of enlightenment. "Close your eyes and focus on our bond," Dania guided. "Breathe deeply and feel the pool's energy as it moves through us." They inhaled in sync, allowing their minds to align, and as they exhaled, they plunged their hands into the liquid energy. A surge of warmth enveloped them both, their consciousness expanding beyond the confines of the physical space. Ethan felt a torrent of visions crash around him, glimpses of Dania's world, vibrant landscapes filled with towering trees and crystalline waters, flashes of her people celebrating life and unity. And then, stark images of the Korthans invading, their machinery tearing through the fabric of peace. He gasped, overwhelmed with emotions. "Dania, I can see it. Your people, they're suffering." "Yes," she breathed, her voice steady despite the intensity surrounding them. "And our past is intertwined with the energy we seek to awaken. This is both our burden and our strength." Together, they merge deeper into the energy, surrounded by the swirling lights and sounds of their combined essence. The energy began to speak to them, whispering secrets long forgotten, tales of power and survival. "Your heart is true, Ethan." Dania's voice resonated within the depths of his consciousness. "You fight for what is right." "And you are brave, Dania," he replied, the vision clearing to reveal her standing strong amidst adversity. "Together, we can change our fates." As their connection deepened, Ethan felt an overwhelming wave of love and admiration for Dania. She had faced unspeakable horrors, yet emerged with such grace. He wanted to protect that light in her, not just for herself, but for the future they could create together. In a moment of clarity, Ethan understood that their bond wasn't only about freedom. It was about a shared purpose, a drive to fight against the darkness threatening her world. "We'll stand against them," he promised. Together. With a sudden burst of energy, the pool erupted in a dazzling display of light, and Ethan was launched backward, landing on his back. He gasped for breath, the visions overwhelming him. But when he glanced to his side, he saw Dania still kneeling by the pool, basking in the brilliance that enveloped her. "Dania!" he shouted, concern flooding his voice. She opened her eyes slowly, glowing with newfound power, radiating an aura of strength and stability. "Ethan, we have awakened the gifts of my ancestors. Together, we will harness my people's energy and protect what's left of our legacy." Ethan stood beside her, awestruck. "What does this mean? What can we do now?" "Now," Dania said, her voice steady and filled with purpose. "We prepare. The Korthans will come. They will try to reclaim what they lost, but with our united strength, we will stand against them." Their intertwined hands pulsed with energy, a signal of hope and resolve. They had forged a bond stronger than the chains that had held Dania captive, a melding of two worlds, human and alien, determined to protect the future they could build together. Ethan turned to Dania, his heart swelling with pride in her resilience. "Whatever happens next, I want you to know that I will stand by your side. We'll face them together." Dania looked deeply into Ethan's eyes, her lips curving into a soft smile. "And I will stand by you." Together, they stepped toward the exit of the core chamber, ready to face the challenges ahead. Each heartbeat resonated with warmth, echoing not only their fears and aspirations, but also the dawning realization of a shared destiny, one forged in the depths of the ancient mine, where love and courage would ignite their greatest journey yet. With renewed purpose coursing through their veins, Ethan and Dania emerged from the core chamber, ready to confront the dangers lurking beyond the shadows of the ancient mine. The air grew heavy with tension as they made their way through the labyrinth of tunnels, each step echoing with the knowledge of what lay ahead. Yet, as they approached the mine's exit, a sense of foreboding crept over Ethan. "Do you think the Korthans know we're here?" he asked, glancing back at Dania, who remained calm despite the crackling energy around them. "Their presence is like a shadow, always hovering but often unseen," Dania replied. "But we have awakened an energy that resonates with my people. They will sense it and come looking for us." Ethan's fists clenched instinctively. "Then we have to be ready. We can't let them take you back." As they stepped outside into the fading light, the mine's entrance settled behind them like a sentinel guarding their secrets. Together, they surveyed their surroundings, aware of the beauty that surrounded them but cautious of the dangers that could emerge at any moment. Just as they prepared to move forward, a low rumble interrupted the tranquility of the landscape. Ethan's heart raced as he turned to see ominous dust clouds forming on the horizon. "What is that?" he asked, dread pooling in his stomach. Dania's expression hardened. "It's them, the Korthans. They've come to reclaim me, and this mine." Ethan could see the distant silhouettes of ships rising from behind the hills, dark against the orange sky. The vessels were massive, with sharp angles and menacing designs, an epitome of conquest. "We need to warn the nearby settlements," he urged, urgency tinging his voice. "Your people deserve to know." "They will not believe us easily," Dania said, her brows furrowing. "The Korthans have instilled fear in them for too long, but we must try." They sprinted through the terrain, hearts pounding with the rhythm of their resolve, each step a reminder of the stakes at hand. As they approached the nearest settlement, Dania's former village, memories flooded back to her. The once vibrant place was now dimmed, the shadows of despair echoing in every corner. "Dania!" A familiar voice called out as they reached the settlement's border. A few villagers rushed towards them, apprehensive yet hopeful. One stepped forward, Dania's closest friend, Mira, a woman with fierce spirit and determination etched upon her features. "What are you doing here?" Myra's voice trembled, noticing the urgency in Dania's eyes and Ethan's intense presence. "You shouldn't have come back. The Korthans will find you." "We know," Dania replied, her voice steady despite the turmoil. "They're coming to reclaim the mine and enslave us all again. We must warn everyone and prepare. There's no time." Mira exchanged a glance with Ethan, measuring his intentions. "Can we truly trust him, Dania? He's human." Ethan stepped forward, wanting to prove his worth. "I am here to help. I came into this mine out of curiosity, but now I see it's bigger than myself. Dania and I will protect this place and your people. Please, we need your support." Mira hesitated for a heartbeat, studying Eric's earnest expression. Slowly, she nodded, turning to rally the villagers. "Gather everyone. We have little time before they arrive, but we need to prepare defenses. If we work together, we can stand against them." As night fell, the villagers gathered, anxiously whispering amongst themselves. Dania and Ethan took center stage, seeking to infuse courage into the hearts of those who had nearly lost all hope. "Listen," Dania began, her voice steady. "We have all suffered under the weight of the Korthans' oppression, but today I have returned free. I have found a way for us to reclaim our strength." Ethan nodded in agreement. "We can unite. With Dania's abilities and the energy of this mine, we can stand together as one. We can protect each other. All of you embody the spirit of your ancestors who fought for this land." A murmur of uncertainty rippled through the crowd, but Dania continued, fueled by the weight of their shared history. "Together, we can amplify our strengths and shield our home from those who wish to take it from us once more." Motivated by her words, the villagers erupted into a chorus of support. They began organizing defenses, creating barricades, and gathering whatever weapons and tools they could find. The energy in the air shifted as hope flickered back into their hearts. A determination kindled to resist the darkness threatening their existence. Hours turned to an eternity as they prepared, and finally, a tense hush fell over the settlement as the sky deepened into indigo. The air was electric, charged with anticipation. "Dania, what's our plan?" Ethan asked, feeling the weight of responsibility pressing down on him. "Once they arrive, we'll use the landscape to our advantage," Dania explained, pointing to the ridge that could provide a vantage point. "I will channel the energy of the mine to create a barrier that will slow their approaching ships, giving us time to strike." Ethan felt the adrenaline surge within him. "And I'll be there to help however you need me. I won't let you face them alone." A moment passed as they shared a resolute gaze, understanding the depth of the path they had chosen together. Their bond, forged through trials and united in purpose, would lead them to face ancient foes and redefine their fate. As darkness enveloped the village, the first distant sounds of the Korthan ships approached, a low rumble that reverberated through the tense air like ominous thunder. The villagers took their positions, and Dania prepared, her heart filled with determination as the Korthans drew nearer. Suddenly, the air exploded with the roar of engines, and streaks of light lit up the darkness. The ships descended lower, revealing their imposing silhouettes against the starlit sky. "Now," Dania shouted, and with a wave of her hands, she drew upon the energy of the mine, channeling it through her being. The earth pulsed in response as a shimmering barrier formed around the settlement, surrounding them with a veil of brilliant light. The Korthans halted, momentarily stunned by the unexpected display of power. "What are they doing?" Ethan heard an irate voice from one of the ships. They began to regroup, their mechanized troops disembarking, armed and ready for battle. Dania's resolve intensified as she focused on the barrier. "We can't let this falter. Hold steady." With his heart pounding, Ethan rushed forward, brandishing a makeshift spear he had crafted from the remnants of old mining tools. "We won't let you take her again," he shouted, determination fueling his voice as he stood beside Dania. The Korthans surged forward, their presence overwhelming and intimidating, but Ethan remained steadfast, aware of the immense strength rippling through him. He looked around at the villagers, now emboldened, armed with their own weapons and determination, their spirits rekindled. The battle began. Clashes echoed in the night as the villagers, fueled by unity and desperation, faced their oppressors. Each strike became a step toward reclaiming their home, their identities, and their futures. Ethan fought fiercely, feeling Dania's energy guiding him, a radiant light illuminating the path through chaos. Together, they became a force, moving as one with the villagers to protect what they had fought so hard to keep. As the first waves began to falter, Ethan caught sight of a massive Korthan commander emerging from the shadows, his presence exuding authority and malice. "You fight for nothing," the commander bellowed, drawing swords of bright metal shimmering menacingly. But with Dania behind him, her energy fueling his resolve, Ethan stepped forward, unwavering. "We fight for our freedom and for each other." As the battle raged on, the stakes were higher than ever, and with Dania at his side, they were determined to overcome the darkness that had haunted her people for far too long. The battle raged around them, a chaotic symphony of clashing metal and cries of defiance. Ethan stood by Dania's side, their intertwined strength manifesting in the energy that surged through them. Each fight against the Korthans reaffirmed the bond that had formed, deeper than mere companionship. It was a connection rooted in a shared destiny. But amidst the chaos, Ethan felt the weight of their situation pressing down on him. "Dania, we need to harness the full extent of our power. We have to unite our energies completely." Dania nodded, her eyes burning with determination. "You're right. We must perform the mating ritual to solidify our bond and amplify our abilities. This will not only strengthen us against the Korthans, but also bring our spirits into complete harmony." Ethan's heart raced at the thought. They had spoken of the ritual in hushed tones, aware of its significance. It was not just an act of intimacy. It was a merging of their very essence, a declaration of unity far beyond anything the world had known. "I'm ready. Let's do this." With unyielding resolve, they moved to the center of the battlefield, drawing the attention of their enemies. Korthans paused, confusion flickering across their faces as they witnessed the radiant energy radiating from Ethan and Dania. "Together," Dania called out, raising her hands towards the sky. "We will unite our fates." As they began the ritual, Ethan felt a surge of warmth envelop him. The energy from the mine pulsed with vibrant colors, wrapping around them like a protective cocoon. Dania's presence next to him was intoxicating. He could feel the rhythm of her heartbeat syncing with his own. "Close your eyes and focus on our bond," she instructed, her voice a soothing balm amidst the chaos. "Feel the connection between our souls." Ethan obeyed, allowing himself to drown in the sensations around him. Memories of their journey flowed through him, moments of laughter, shared fears, and the spark of hope that ignited when they had first discovered each other. With every breath, they drew closer together, their energies intertwining like threads of light, weaving a tapestry of love and strength. Ethan could feel the magic of the mind responding to their connection, the air crackling with palpable energy, urging them onward. "Now, let us demonstrate our union," Dania urged, her voice filled with passion. "We will share our essence with each other, unleashing the power that lies in our love." As they summoned their energies, a blinding light enveloped them both. Ethan could feel Dania's essence flowing into him, filling him with warmth and strength. In return, he poured his being into her, igniting a spark within her that shimmered brightly. At that moment, the world around them faded. All that existed was their bond, their spirits dancing within the energy formed by the ritual. Ethan's emotions surged, and without doubt, he realized that this was not only about battling the Korthans, This was a declaration of their commitment to each other. "Dania," Ethan breathed, overwhelmed by the connection they were forging. "I love you." "I love you too, Ethan," she replied, her voice a melody that resonated with their gathered energy. Together, we are unstoppable. As the final strands of energy wrapped around them, an explosion of light erupted from their union, creating a barrier that radiated outward, sweeping across the battleground. The Korthans remained frozen in disbelief as Ethan and Dania, now fully united, stood entwined, glowing with the power of their connection. It was more than just a mating ritual. It was a transformation, an awakening of their true potential as guardians of each other's lives and legacies. "Now," Dania shouted, drawing upon the energy coursing through them, "we must use our love to drive back the Korthans." With their hearts aligned, they unleashed the force of their bond, sending a shockwave that curled through the air, moving toward the Korthans like a wave crashing against the rocks. The energy surged forward, throwing their enemies backward and temporarily disrupting their advance. Ethan felt buoyed by the power of their mating, each energy spark igniting fierce determination within the villagers, who rallied behind the newly empowered duo. With renewed strength, they took a stand as one, defiant against the oncoming tide of the Korthans, prepared to fight for the freedom they had awakened. As the dust settled and the remnants of the Korthan threat faded into the night, Ethan and Dania stood amongst the villagers, united by the bonds they had forged. The cheers of the victorious echoed through the settlement, reverberating against the cliffs that had long been silent. Overwhelmed by emotion, Dania turned to Ethan. "We did it. Together, we fought and reclaimed our freedom." Ethan smiled, his heart swelling with pride. "Indeed we did. But this is just the beginning. We have the chance to build a future, one where our worlds can coexist." Dania's eyes glimmered with hope. "I want to share my knowledge, to teach my people to harness their gifts and connect with yours. Together, we can create a sanctuary for all." With the moon shining brightly above, Ethan took her hand, feeling the lingering connection sparked by their ritual. "And I'll stand by your side every step of the way." As they looked out over the settlement, surrounded by their friends and allies, they knew they had forged a new beginning, not only for themselves, but for future generations. The bonds of love, courage, and unity would ensure that the darkness would never return again. Together, they were ready to embrace whatever tomorrow would bring, forever changed and forever intertwined.